And that's bowled. A very spectacular over. So change in bowling from the pavilion end. 2 overs and off for the Nelly man. She's ringing the changes. Sowanna Booker into the attack from the pavilion end. Good start. Looking to be aggressive is Jada Tyrrell, but just not being able to get it past that. Get it past the bowler. This is very tight, restrictive bowling, is it, Mr. Joseph? They're not offering a lot to the Windward's batsmen. Batters. They're restricting them and forcing them to make a mistake.
Yeah, pretty tight stuff, and being supported in the field by some good fielding too.
This is what is required: building pressure through dot balls, through good fielding, keeping the batsmen on their toes. They're forcing them to play a rash shot, because at this point they really do need to get a hold on. The run rate is now above, the required run rate is now above 6.
Yeah, I tell you, Asha, we talk about batting in partnerships, but I'll tell you that the Guyanese are bowling very well in partnerships, yeah. Keeping the stem of runs down, flow of runs down.
Yeah, there's a clear plan that the Guyana Under 19 women are following, and they're following it quite well. So, very well done to them. But I'm sure that Jada Tyrrell is more than capable of dealing with it, trying to sweep, but not being able to get it off. And a maiden over for Sowanna Booker. So, very good bowling, very tight bowling.
We opened an academy. Mr. Nanton opened an academy at Benjamin Park, and we had 17 students, which were the first.
And that's bowled. Amy Antoine goes bowled by Sowanna Booker for 1. So the procession continues for the Windward Islands Under 19 women. 34 for 7, requiring 67 from 47 deliveries with only 3 wickets in hand. So yes, you would have mentioned that there is a cricket academy. Can you give me the name of that cricket academy?
Well, it's Dominic Cricket Academy.
Dominic.
And it's based in Benjamin Park. If you know Benjamin Park, it's quite a big park in the north. They play a lot of football here as well. They have tennis courts, basketball courts. It's a big venue where we try to develop youngsters in all kind of sports. But my role is more cricket. Yeah. So
it's an entire sports complex, and your focus is cricket. Yes. And what ages do you focus on at the academy?
Well, we normally start from 13, under 15, under 19 really we're working on. And we've had a few instances where 12-year-olds were that good that they came into the academy. Preferably Stephen Pascal, as you know, he's now playing for Winwoods. He was West Indies under 19 captain. So when we spot the talent early, we'll try to develop the talent.
And how much work do you think is required to put into these youngsters from such a young age over an extended period of time to ensure that you can have more Stephen Pascals coming through in your academy?
Well, if you know cricket, it's all about repetition. The more you do something, the better you become at it. There's a great person that said, if you do something 10,000 times, your you develop that muscle memory, so you'll play the ball instinctively. So, but looking at the women's game, because I want to talk about the women's game, to be honest. I think more needs to be done to develop the ladies, to be honest. I don't think we're doing enough to develop the women's game. My view is we should have an under-19 competition amongst the islands, say in the Windward Islands, and then we can select our Windward Island team. That doesn't happen. So it's more like a quota system where you get people from various parts, they come together. Normally they used to have a training camp where they get to meet each other. Because of finances now, it's no longer. So most of these girls are playing together sometimes for the first time without knowing each other. So,
well, that's kind of the sentiments that would be shared by the Leeward Islands as well, because inter-regional travel between the Leeward Islands and the Windward Islands tends to be a bit more difficult as opposed to broader inter-regional travel between, say, Jamaica and Barbados. So I could understand that for smaller islands like us, we would have a bit more difficulty in trying to have a combined community where we can see and spot the talent early and be able to work with them long enough. So I do applaud what you would be doing at the academy in Dominica. And is there an even contribution between boys and girls, or are you seeing more interest by boys? How are you getting to encourage more females in the game?
Well, over the years, the academy normally take young boys, but for the last 2 years, we've integrated the women's section, because I work with the ladies as well. And we had 6 of them in our academy for the last 2 years. So we're trying to incorporate the women's game. Because I believe, because they're not playing cricket and they don't have a league, playing amongst the boys would develop them a little bit quicker. That is my view.
Most definitely. And I do think at some point in time, especially as they get older and boys start to develop, that you should have a separation between boys and girls, and much more cricket should be played like this. So St. Vincent should be playing St. Lucia should be playing Dominica. But how important do you think finances, how important a role do you think finances play in allowing these children to grow up together and be able to play cricket together?
Well, finance is the biggest issue that we have, really. And that's been going on for a long time, about the finances. But I think sometimes we can perhaps forget a little bit about the finances and just have a training camp where you have the girls coming from 4 different countries, a week to 10 days, getting to know each other. Something of that sort can be done.
Most definitely, because you were essentially sharing the same sentiments as a previous host of ours, Kenneth Benjamin, that we require some level of structure, some level of planning to ensure that we have the best opportunity given to these females so that they can improve their talents. And I applaud the work that you are doing in Dominica with the academy, and I do hope to see a lot of these players like Jada Terrell and whatnot to go further into West Indies cricket.
Yes, that's a good idea and good sentiments.
And ladies and gentlemen, the Windward Islands have lost another wicket. Emma Madison goes bowled by Sowanna Booker in a very spectacular over. Sowanna Booker that has gone unnoticed, but will be acknowledged by me now. Wicket on the first ball, wicket on the second ball, and wicket on the final ball of the over. 3 wickets in the over. Sowanna Booker, 2 overs, 1 maiden, 3 wickets for 1 run, decimating the lower order of the Windward Islands under 19 women. So 66 required from 42 deliveries for the Windward Islands women. 1 wicket remaining.